Yes, let's go again. Oh, is that the camera? Are we all seeing the same thing? I'm kind of getting Brad Pitt, the Brad. Anyway, obviously, just joking. Or am I? It's probably, I don't know. Let me focus on the task at hand. Okay, so okay, so I'm gonna start this podcast again by talking a little bit about football because it's a very broad topic, getting better at the game. So, guys, if you don't want to listen about this particular sport and you want to skip, just move on. I'll have the timestamps. I'm now a blue belt in YouTube. I don't know. I know how to put timestamps now, so I'm very knowledgeable. Blue belt, definitely blue belt. So last time I talked about developing your physicality to a certain extent. I talked about this. That was obviously I talked about it stuttering. If you can talk, just starting the topic again, I start stuttering. You know why that is? Because I've got too many thoughts running through my head, million miles an hour. My fucking mouth. I said I'm not gonna swear. My mouth is struggling to keep up. So as soon as I start talking about football, there's so many things that I want to say immediately that my thoughts kind of start going over one another. Or maybe I'm just warming up. Maybe next time, before I press play, I should just talk in front of the phone for like 10-15 minutes just to get going, to warm up. See, guys, warm up is important even when you're about to start talking. You need to warm up a little bit first. Same when you play football, you need to warm up. You don't want to get injured. I'm not going to get injured here. I'm not going to injure my tongue or whatever. But I just look fucking stupid. I'm swearing again. I'm not going to swear. I just look unintelligent. When a man of my intelligence stutters, it's just embarrassing. Okay. So moving on from the physical aspect of the game, I talked a little bit about the technical, a bit about physical. So I'm going to focus on the other two, which is stats from up here. Okay. I also mentioned something about different skill, which was how to think properly. Guys, getting smarter. When you become more intelligent, you will become better at the game. It sounds ridiculous, but it's not. It makes perfect sense. It's just most people that, in general, most people that do sports think that anything that kind of is not directly related to sports has no impact, but it does, especially everything that's mental. Because at the end of the day, life happens up here, you know? I'm not gonna go into the philosophy, but everything happens in our own heads. Football, when you play, you use your senses. Your senses give information to what, where does that information that you receive through your senses, where does it go? It goes up here. When you're smarter, when you work on your intelligence, which is absolutely possible, it's possible to become more intelligent and to train your brain. When you do that, you can get quicker at processing information. That sounds a bit like a Mickey Mouse explanation, but you know, reserve judgment for a second. The smarter you become, the easier the game gets. I can give you an example because I've pushed myself really hard, obviously, to become, to kind of try and maximize my intellect, if that is possible. I remember, like, vividly, maybe now I'm just making stuff up, maybe I'm just creating a narrative in my head, maybe that's not the case, but let me just tell my story. I remember the more I read physics, I've read probably about 10, 15 books about physics. Um, the universe, in a nutshell, Stephen Hawking, and books like that. Stephen Hawking's books, Brian Cox, blah, 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 and other guys about quantum physics, all this, blah, 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 about the universe, astrophysics, quantum physics, all that. It's so complicated. It pushes your brain because you need to start thinking in your brain. You need to start conceptualizing. You need to try and internalize very difficult concepts about space, time, movement. So basically, space and movement. Time, don't worry about time so much. Obviously, in physics, it is connected. Don't worry about it. Space and movement. And the more, obviously, I'm diving into those topics every day, I'm banging my head against the wall. I'm like, oh, okay, space. What does it mean? Da, 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 da. I'm thinking about this. When I went when I went to play football while I was doing this, I don't know, maybe it was just about to happen. But when I stepped onto the pitch, my perception of space, my spatial awareness. Obviously, I need to mention my spatial awareness and just vision overall has always been top level, excellent. Actually, I'm not boasting. That's just a fact. Excellent vision. But when I stepped onto the pitch, maybe my imagination was working, but I started seeing things so much more clearly. I can see the channels, I can see the pass, I can see all the moving pieces. It felt like everything was moving even slower now. Because obviously, the more you play, the more the game slows down for you. But I wasn't really playing more than before. But just reading those books, maybe just my brain started working a different. You went into the next gear. So when I stepped onto the pitch and I just started seeing them, like I entered the matrix. I started seeing everything. I started seeing the passes. I started seeing movement, and just my feel for the game, and just my feel for space. Because obviously football is all about space, and utilizing space and creating space, and not allowing the other team to create space, and just all those things. I'm not gonna go into detail now, but I just remember, imagine this happened maybe 4 years ago, and I was so happy with it that I still have this story in my head. I'm not making it up now. I could just clearly see, just everything was so clear. It's like I was looking at the game through a keyhole. Although my vision has always been excellent, when I did that, I'm seeing passes, I'm seeing everything develop 5, 6 moves ahead. At least that's how I felt. So, yeah. Anyway, apart from that, this is just one thing. So try and push yourself mentally as well. Mentally, you become sharper mentally. Everything else, by extension, becomes easier. Okay, it's like you have a car. Your car has 100 horsepower or whatever. The engine is 100 horsepower, and then you add horsepower to the engine. You add an extra 50. It's going to be easier for the car now to go faster, isn't it? You don't need to fucking go. I'm swearing again. I should stop swearing. Anyway, you get my point. Another thing that I wanted to mention in terms of thinking, because I said you need to think properly. And just before I move on from this topic, I talked about logic. Another thing that's very important is the human brain has biases, and it's very difficult to get past them. There is many biases that the human brain has, and if you don't know them, if you're not aware of them, it's difficult to fix your mistakes, and because you can't even realize them. So there is a book, I've read many books on topics like that. There was one that is quite simple. If you guys want to check it out sometime, I think the whole book was basically about roughly like 100 biases that the brain has. So flaws in your thinking process. It was called The Art of Thinking Clearly. Yeah, Rolf someone. Yeah, check that book out. It's a good book. Good book. When you become aware of your biases in your thinking, everything else gets much easier. I'm not gonna start explaining and all this. Just check the book out. Nice book, and it's very important to be aware of possible dangers when thinking. Okay, there are traps. Your brain sets traps for you. I'm just gonna give you one because it's not too serious. People have a bias towards good-looking people. Okay, when someone is good-looking, you start attributing different positive qualities to them. It's not me saying this. This is like common knowledge. Many studies have been done on that topic. I don't remember the name of the bias, what it was called, but it's a real thing. You start attributing good qualities to good-looking people. See someone not so good-looking, you're less likely to forgive them. You're less likely to do this, to do that. You start assuming the wrong things. So many things. Just think about it. Think about, I don't know. Think about, I don't know, me personally. When I think about previous girlfriends and stuff like that, there is a straight correlation between how good looking they are so the best looking, I don't really hold a grudge, and it goes down from there. Does that make sense? I don't want to go into detail, but yeah, it's difficult to hold a grudge against good-looking people. That's my point. Anyway, let's move on. Let me answer some questions now. I said what I wanted to say about football. Social. I'm gonna touch on the social bit next time. me get the other phone. Questions? What? Okay, I'm just gonna, again, random. What's a way to deal with anger from past experiences? See, guys, I can kind of link this to what I just said. You're gonna be less angry with the next, let's say, if she's very good looking. Yeah, I'm telling you. Obviously, you're gonna have, like, if you're angry, you're angry. You're gonna be angry for a bit, but then when it goes away, when you look back, let's say a year or 5 years later, you're like, yeah, I'm not that angry anymore, to be honest. But if she's not good looking, you're gonna be looking at, bleh, you. Ugh. So anyway, let me answer the question now a bit more intelligently. Let's stop messing about. Enough. What's a way to deal with anger from past experiences? Anger from past experiences. The way to deal with it, we've talked about before. You need to have everything under control. Okay? Anger is a sign of weakness. Angry. How can something make you angry? Okay? Start thinking about it. What are the possible ways for you to get angry? Why would you get angry? Something doesn't go your way. Something is here. You're here. Two separate things. We've said it before. What's important is what's here. Inside. Do not let external things control you. Why? Because you do not control them. So start shifting your mindset in this direction. Outside of my control, in my control. You cannot let something get you angry. Let's say it's something from the past, before you had this knowledge now that you have, or before you had this new mindset. Well, start working on it. You need to consciously start breaking it down. Okay? I talked about a book, Thinking Fast and Slow. You have those two systems, which is, I'm not really good with names of, but I can kind of give you the concept. System 1 and System 2, in terms of how your brain works. System 1, it's subconscious, it's automatic. Okay, something happens and you just react, boom. Okay, so it's automatic, it's quick, makes decisions quickly, and yeah, it's reactive. You use it all the time. Something happens, you react. Someone says something funny, you laugh. You don't need to think, oh, that was funny, let me laugh now. No, you just laugh. And so on. System 2, now System 2 is slow. System 2 breaks things down, processes them. Slow. Okay, this is like thinking fast. System 1, slow. System 2 breaks things down, starts thinking. So you're consciously thinking about those things. You're trying to take this in, take that in. Okay, what do I do with this information? What do I do with that information? Okay, so System 2 is slow. I call it subconscious and conscious. It's not exactly, this is just how I call it, okay? You can train this quick, fast, system one. You can train it by deliberately thinking about what you're gonna do using system two. So you can train your responses to certain things. You can break them down, and you can teach yourself a new way to act. So system two can shift them, can kind of adjust the mechanisms of system one. Does that make sense? So it is completely possible to change yourself and to change your reactions if you think about them for a long enough time. If you break them down consciously and you convince yourself, sooner it's going to change. So if you go deep, on a deep level, consciously, you do it with a purpose, you know what you're after, you know what you need to do, and you start fixing. Obviously, at the moment everything that I'm talking about is just mental. So imagine you're going inside your own head. Okay, you're going in, you fix, like a mechanic. Fix everything, fix the mechanism, whoop, and let it work. Does that make sense? So now apply this to the problem with the anger. Now you've got this brand new mindset, or whatever you want to call it, engine, or the new, I don't know, you've added, guys, I don't really know about computers, but the computer that you're using now is stronger. And now you're using this computer to fix that thing from the past, to run that program or what. Guys, I'm not going to talk about, I'm not going to make analogies with things that I have no clue about. Yeah. So anger is in the past. You need to understand that the thing that annoyed you was outside of your control. You need to understand that you didn't know any better. If you knew any better, it wouldn't have annoyed you. You would not have gotten angry if you knew better. So you need to understand, listen, I didn't know better, that's why I got angry. I shouldn't have gotten angry in the first place. Number two, why would I allow something external get me angry? How does that make sense? That doesn't make sense, does it? So understand those things and start going deeper into the question. Okay, what exactly hurt me? Because to be angry, you need to be hurt. Okay, if you're strong enough, you don't get hurt, you don't get angry, because you're very strong. You think a human can hurt Superman? No. Why? Because Superman is too strong. They punch him, they break their hand. You shoot him with a gun, the bullet just boom, bounces off him. Or me. You can use Superman and me interchangeably if you want. Just, yeah. Although, I don't know, I don't really seem like Superman, to be fair. It's not a good match. Anyway, I'll find someone else more relatable. Okay, I'm not gonna go off track. So that's my answer to the question. I'm not gonna spend an hour. Hopefully this is like a good framework that you can use, apply it, and start going back and fixing things. Okay, so I think that was pretty much exactly the question. What's a way? That's a way. It's not the way, it's a way. One of many other ways, but I found this to work very, very, very reliably. Very reliably. Because but you need to set your priorities right. So you have a lot of work to do to sort out what's happening in here, and then you start going back and fixing whatever you think bothered you. Just, yeah. Next. What is something you wish you had done differently in your life? Oh, now I need to start telling stories. I haven't done that. Let me let me think of a story. Something you wish you had done differently in life. Don't know, to be honest. Don't know. Nothing. Nothing. I don't. Do I have any regrets about anything? I can't think of any. No, I've done the best I could have done. Almost. Oh, yeah. Something that I wish I would have done differently. I wish, guys, the only thing that I wish I would have done differently, I wish I watched less Netflix when I was in university, especially my first year. When I went there, I was still kind of feeling a little bit sorry for myself because it wasn't the best. I wasn't in the best situation. I didn't realize how much I would have to sacrifice to make things happen. Okay. Um, so I thought, okay, I'm not really having fun. I'm not. I was looking at the things that what everyone else is doing and what everyone else is getting, and I was like, oh well, I'm sacrificing this and this and this and that. I at least deserve to watch Netflix a little. No. Could have done something. I could have spent that time in the library. Good thing is, I did kind of, you watch Netflix, you kind of finish all the series that are worth watching. So now I'm not wasting my time. And even back then, kind of, you watch the things that you're interested in and you just kind of run out of things to watch. So at least now I'm not wasting any time. But even back then, I kind of started spending more and more time in the library. Second year, third year, I was basically lived in the library. But yeah, that's one thing I would say. I was gonna tell a different story, but maybe another time. So yeah, that's one thing. So yeah, don't, guys, try not to give yourselves too many passes. Don't accept weakness. Okay? Don't say, oh, it's okay. Don't say that. Try not to say it. Well, it's okay. I need to watch this. Try and say no to yourself as much as possible. Really, try and say no as much as possible. There will be times that you're still gonna give in into that little voice. Come on, let's do a little bit of that hedonistic. Is it hedonistic? Yeah, hedonistic voice that comes from the back of your head. Let's lay in bed. Let's sleep in. Let's spend 7 hours on TikTok, or let's take a break today. Let's take a day off. Try not to listen to that voice too much. The more you listen to it, the stronger it's gonna get, to a point where it's gonna get so strong you don't even hear the other voices. Try and say no as much as possible. You hear this, say no. What the hell are you talking about? No. Boom. I need to work. Bam. Stay strong. Show some strength. Push your way. You may stay in bed. No, I'm not that type of person. Stay in bed. Ugh. Okay, I say no. Say no. Don't give yourself too much, too many passes. Is my mic on? Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely see Brad Pitt. Next question. Oh, reach the bottom. How do we go? I've answered this one. If we desire something, does obtaining it truly satisfy us? Or does it merely lead to further desires? Okay. Okay. There is no question. There is no definitive question here. So, although I don't like saying it depends, I don't like giving those answers. Oh, it depends. Oh, it depends. And then you start going, well, yeah, it depends, it depends, it depends. And you get nowhere. It depends. If we desire something, what do you desire? What's the desire? Again, I feel like I'm starting to just say the same thing, but it's a really long topic. So guys, I'm hoping that over time you're gonna start seeing the pattern, and my philosophy is gonna start coming to life. All of a sudden, you start seeing it in everything, and it's not my fear. I didn't create it. I'm not taking credit for this. I'm just saying, just my outlook, my way of thinking. You're gonna start. So something. If we desire something, what do you desire? Is it a thing, something, something? Is it something external? If it is external, I don't think it's very difficult to have enough to get enough things to say, yeah, you know what, I've got enough. This is very difficult. There is always going to be something else that you're going to want to achieve or to do. There is always what's next, okay, what's next. And this could be bad, this could be good, so that's difficult to it's not difficult, but it's going to take a while to break this down. So I'm just going to say, if you desire things that are internal, so if your goal is to achieve something that is internal, you will never get to a point where you'll get there and you want something else now, because that point doesn't really exist, because the process that goes on in your head is endless. It's infinite. There is no end point there. So you're just gonna keep going in that direction, and you're gonna understand that the whole goal is actually the process. I said a lot of things with not a lot of words, so think about what I just said. I think I said it. I put it well, yeah, well enough. So if the desire is something internal, let's say to be disciplined, there is not going to be a time where, like, if I do this and this and this and this, on the 1st of January of 2030, I'm going to be disciplined. Okay? And I will have achieved this. No. If that is your goal, if that is what you really want, that process is never going to end. So, does that make sense? So, internal things, they have their own value that is so they're so valuable that you can't really look past them. You can't really see anything, but just, yeah, I need to think about this a bit more so I can formulate my answer better in terms of just give you like a little speech about the value of character and certain qualities, virtues, okay? They end in and of themselves. So if that's your goal, you're not gonna desire anything else. If you're talking about desire of external things, fame, car, or whatever, girlfriend, you can always get more famous. You can always have a better car or more cars. You can always have more girlfriends or better or whatever. Okay, and yeah, everything you can always get. You can always have a better watch or more watches. So it's one of the two. It never stops. Okay, so you just need to obviously work on your character so you don't get greedy. Don't get greedy with having things, but be ambitious and relentless with going after things, new goals. Okay, let's go, let's go, let's go. As doing this as a reflection of your inner drive and work ethic. So as a reflection of your character. Okay, a watch is not a reflection of your character, but what you do is. So never be satisfied with what you've just done. Look for more. But what you get, try and, yeah, be satisfied with what you have. And you can still get nice things, good things, but keep the main thing the main thing. Keep your priorities straight. So yeah, that's it on that. Do we have the power to alter our minds and personality, or does the mind determine who we are? Okay. That question is it's a bit of a double question. This is basically two questions. Do we have the power to alter our minds and personality? And then question two, does the mind determine who we are? Okay, this question is very, to give you an answer that I'm gonna be happy with, and that's not gonna be a dumb, boring, embarrassing answer with full of generalities and just quotes. I need to go so deep that I don't even know that I can go so deep safely without getting lost and without messing up the answer. So I'm gonna answer this another time. Do you have the power to? Because I'm just gonna give you the reason why. So that's another thing. Thinking properly. You need to be aware of potential dangers. You need to know what you're stepping into. So be aware of potential dangers, meaning be aware of what you don't know. You need to be aware of that. It's very important. A lot of people, they've got no idea. Okay? They've got no idea. Because mind, how mind is used, do you mean mind as brain? Okay, so your brain, oh, my brain. Or do you mean mind as like consciousness? Mind, because mind is used in philosophy as many things. That's difficult. That's difficult. Imagine me reacting like this. That's a tough topic. I'll get to it, but I want to make sure that I know what I want to say, because I can just go in a million different directions. I'm gonna get twisted, and I'm gonna embarrass myself. Although no one really knows what I'm talking about. No serious philosopher is gonna come here and check me. Oh, he made this mistake and that mistake. But I want to be truthful. I want what I say to be correct, not to be correct. Some of the things, maybe I'll make a mistake here and there, but I don't want to say things that I've just kind of made up on the spot. Okay, so what I say, guys, I want to make sure that you can take it to the bank, and when you say it, someday, sometime, I haven't made a fool out of myself in front of someone intelligent. Although, you know what I'm gonna say? Something not very modest. You know, guys, when you start studying philosophy, and when you start really trying to learn how to think, again, I keep going back to this as if I'm, I don't know, as if I'm Plato. I've got about 10 Plato books behind me. Anyway, I'm not saying I'm like top of the food chain thinker. I will get there. I will get there. But you need to understand. I know it sounds ridiculous, especially when you're younger, listening about philosophy, all those things that are not material and that are internal, that happen inside your head. And you think, oh my God, this is so papa. People talking about discipline. Oh my God, discipline. Oh, you can't really hold it. You can't hold it in your hands. So it's rubbish. But you go on this journey of trying to learn a little bit about how the mind works and how the greatest minds and thinkers of all time, what they did and how they thought, and their ideas. When you go on this journey, you start this journey, as you progress and you get better and better and better. Obviously in the beginning, again, there is like a bias. I think it was called the Dunning-Kruger effect. Hopefully I remember correctly the name of at least one thing. Dunning-Kruger effect, which is as soon as when you start learning something new, so your level was here, so you start learning, you start your journey, and your confidence in your knowledge and in your ability skyrockets. So you get up here, and as you keep learning, you realize, so you've gotten past this up this, you've gone up, your confidence in your knowledge has skyrocketed, and then you get here, but you continue progressing with your knowledge, you keep studying, learning, and all of a sudden you're over here and you realize, oh my God, I was such an idiot, I actually know nothing. So as you keep learning, you actually realize that you know nothing. and that your confidence was completely unfounded. It was based on nothing. It was based on a deception, on an illusion. You thought you knew, but you didn't even know how much you don't know. So that's how much of a beginner and amateur you were. Does that make sense? So this is that effect. This effect is in full power in two topics. It's the most evident in two topics. One is fighting, and the other one is philosophy, thinking. You know, you can just see someone goes and does one session in boxing or whatever else. I don't know, and they start thinking, "Wow, kind of a bad boy, This guy, I can smash him easily, no effort." And the guy can probably kill you because you literally just done one session. You've hit the bag like 5 times. But you now think, oh, yeah. Just hope some unlucky guy don't come to me and, you know, looks at me the wrong way because he doesn't know what can happen to him. So that's one. And the other example is philosophy. When people read one book or two books, they're like, yes. So let's discuss this and start motivational quotes. The journey, the process is more important than the goal. They start throwing the quotes. And unfortunately, I can tell you why. Because both things have happened to me. Obviously, I would like to think not to it wasn't that bad for me, okay? Because I know when to stay quiet and when to be humble. So, but I've definitely experienced the effect. So definitely in the beginning when I started just doing like a little bit of martial arts or combat sports, whatever you want to call it, I'm like, oh yeah. I've got some ability, I've got some talent. I knew it. And then as you keep learning, you're like, Jesus Christ, I was helpless before. So yeah, and in philosophy as well, because I've been kind of ahead of the curve. I was in the beginning not not gloating, but I was very loud about it. Oh yeah, I'm learning this, I'm learning that. Look at this, look at that. And even when I was reading my books, yeah, I'm reading this, I'm reading that. I've read that much and that much. I still mention it. Of course, I mention it because I need. Yeah, just enjoy. Now I just enjoy. Sometimes I mention, yeah, I've read this, I've read that, I've done this, I've done that. But before, in the beginning, when you're a beginner, you feel like, oh yeah, I know now. Yeah, I'm this, I'm that. You're not. You're still not. So my point was, originally, when I started talking about philosophies. So any person, kind of generalizing here a little bit, but most people that have never done, that have never studied philosophy, and they've never been educated in how to think and how to go through information, how to sort, and how to check information, how to filter information. Those people, I'll call them untrained thinkers. Someone like me. Now, it doesn't necessarily need to be me, but you know what? Don't care. Don't really care. To be fair, if someone has a problem, then their problem. I mop the floor with any person that has no background in thinking, and I'm not Aristotle. If you ask me, I would say I'm a blue belt in philosophy. So I've put the hours in. I've really thought about all those things, and I'm practicing this and that and doing those things. But you mop the floor, there is no, you're not on the same level. You're not on the same level. I never talk about this. I don't go out in public and or when I'm talking to my friends or whatever, and I go, "Oh yeah, do you know this? Do you know that?" No, I don't even mention it, guys. Philosophy is for you. It's for you. I said it before. I said the the things that you get out of it, they are not for other people to see. They're for you personally. That's what you get out of it. Some people say this is waste of time, or it's this, or it's that. Yeah, okay, that's your opinion. You do you. But when you can think properly, it's just so easy. It's just so easy. I, Before I used to argue. I like arguing. I used to like arguing, but I don't anymore because I realized that if I find like someone genuinely that I am like, okay, this guy is credible, like he's got some solid knowledge, he's got a good foundation, he knows what he's talking about. Okay, he studied this, he studied that. I'm not saying he studied this book, this particular book or that book. I'm not going on about knowledge, things that he knows. I'm talking about, um, does he know the main concepts, and does he know how to think? Does he know like the general rules? Does he know how like a philosophical discussion, how does that go? How does that work? Or does he just, you say something to him, he doesn't really like it, and he starts attacking you with personal attacks? Or you think you're very smart, don't you? Oh, you know everything. That come, what are we doing? What are we doing? So that's what I mean. You mop the floor with them. Those people, I don't even engage because there is, why engage? It's no contest. No contest. There is no point. So just kind of look from the side, and yeah. But yeah, this doesn't apply just to me. This is not like something that is wow. Yeah, look at this. I can do this. Um, if you think I'm trying to gloat or to boast, right, it's just you exactly proving my point. Exactly proving my point. If someone gets triggered by what another person says about himself, what are you doing, mate? What are you doing? So hopefully anyone that's watching this you don't really get triggered, because if you do, come on, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time? What you could do is start reading. Start reading. Learn how to think, and do not allow external factors and other people and other people's opinions about you or about themselves trigger you. Come on, so that's not it. Okay, that's I said it before. That's a recipe for disaster. You're not going to be very content with yourself and with your life if you do that. So yeah, next time maybe I'll read maybe the best thing I've heard about philosophy. It was like a small chapter from Bertrand Russell. He's like polymath. He's an English guy. Polymath. Polymath meaning an expert in many different areas. So he's like a mathematician, philosopher, politician, physician. Not physician, physicist. My bad. Physician, physicist. Ooh. So yeah, he's like. But yeah. Anyway, let's answer one more question. 55 minutes in. What's more important, loyalty or love? Oh my god, this is gonna be the end of me. Loyalty or love. So I've, that's a good question actually. So we can all see my transformation. So guys, for a long time I thought it was loyalty. It's important to be loyal. Da, 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 da. Love, love this, love that. I'm not sure, I'm not sure anymore. Don't know, because loyalty, I'm not really, to be honest, at the moment, as time goes by and the more I learn, the more I read and think about those things and just, yeah, study, I'm starting to not see so much, I don't know, loyalty. I'm struggling because, as I said, you need to go to those dark places. So I'm constantly trying to put myself in very uncomfortable situations. And I'm constantly thinking about, okay, what happens? I'm just going to give you like a little thought experiment. Let's say you have a friend, your best friend, let's say, or your girlfriend, or I don't know, like someone very close to you, very important. Let's keep family out of the equation. So, friend or a girlfriend, and they do something wrong that you disagree with. You're like, no, this is not right, and you've told them, so they know that what they're doing you disagree with, and they still do it. That this is what I keep going over and over in my head. I keep replaying this scenario in my head, like with different tweaks and changes, just to see what my reaction is gonna be. And the majority of times, my reaction is, you've done this, although you know what my opinion is, and now you're gonna come looking for me, and I can't see myself. Um, I can't see myself saying, you know what, it doesn't matter, I'll just come and yeah, I'll be there. No, I just can't see. So what does that say about loyalty? Does that say, obviously that says more about me than about loyalty. I'm just giving you my point of view at the moment. I've been at the other end, so I've said, oh no, it doesn't matter if you're loyal to someone. But the more I study and learn, the more I see it's very difficult to be loyal to people. Why? Because most people, they don't deserve it. Because I don't want to ruin everything. I don't want to ruin the magic now and say most people don't deserve it because they're not trained philosophers. So I don't want to say that. But most people, they cannot really justify their actions properly, at least not to me, if that makes sense. So when I'm doing something, I'm gonna give you 1 million reasons why exactly I'm doing this, and what are my reasons, long term, short term, da 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 da. I've thought through this for a year at least, so I know exactly why I'm doing this, about this, that. I know how it. I know how this thing is gonna I know whether this thing is compatible with my philosophy, with what like I stand for, or whatever, what I stand for, as if I'm Captain America. Not in that way, but with what I wanna be, with who I wanna be, and who I think I am. Do you know what I mean? So I thought through very in detail everything that I'm about to do. I've really put a lot of thought into it. So I know where it's gonna lead, or I kind of I'm expecting it with high confidence. I'm expecting this thing to go in a certain direction or to lead me. So yeah, so I can kind of justify the decision that I've taken is well thought out. Most people, not really, and I can't really get behind something like this. So I'm really struggling with this. And obviously, that's not a therapy session here, but yeah, that's difficult. So I would say my loyalty is kind of um, I'm struggling to put my loyalty with people, but um, because I've got loyalty towards those big principles and concepts. I'm loyal to a certain principle, to a set of principles. This is where my loyalty is, and I'm trying to be loyal to this. So let's say I'm loyal to, I don't know what like a principle. Let's say the principle is, I just give I always give discipline, but let's say the principle is, I don't know, guys, give me like something virtuous. Courage. Okay. Oh, courage. I'm not saying this is my main thing, but courage. So this principle, I can't. If I do whatever, blah blah blah, I'm gonna be a coward. I don't want to be a coward. Courage is my thing. I'm loyal to that principle, so I'm willing to give a lot for this, to maintain this. Um, yeah, to be able to say I'm a courageous person, to not be a coward. Okay, and then I need to do something that is gonna make me a coward. Because of someone. Although they know, and I don't know. I didn't respond to that question, I think, in the best way, but I hope you get what I mean. So it's very difficult for me to put loyalty. Love on the other side. Now, I'm gonna put love in this little thought experiment that we just did with loyalty. I said excluding family. Now, when it's about family, it's just different. It's different. Family is different. Family, I don't know. It's difficult. Even then, it depends. It depends, guys, how you break family. I have a lot higher tolerance for family. Someone can make the same mistake 1,000 times, and I'm still gonna say, someone can go against me like 1,000 times, and I'm not gonna be happy, and then I'm still gonna be like, yeah, he's family, I can't just, can't leave him. So yeah, it's a bit different. It's different. And where is how do you separate friends and family? That's individual. So that's my answer to this for now. Maybe I'm unhappy with it, and maybe in a week I come back and revisit it. Maybe we'll see. But yeah, that's it. That's it. 1 hour and 4 minutes. That's the longest so far. I'm on fire. Not really on fire, because very cool, calm, and collected individual. But yeah, okay. Done with another one, and I'll be back. I'll be back.